And while the upcoming SpaceX IPO has been making headlines the past few months, our next guest says there's a Canadian satellite company that hasn't been getting much attention, but has massive opportunity ahead. He says he's been covering companies for 20 years and has never seen anything that has this much upside. Here to give us his perspective on Telesat is David McFadgen, Managing Director of Institutional Equity Research at ATB Cormark Capital Markets. It's good to have you join us. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on Telesat. I mean, how does the valuation of Telesat compare to a company like SpaceX?
Well, the SpaceX is rumored to be valued. I mean, we don't know exactly because they haven't started marketing the deal yet, but what's been reported in the trade press is it'll be over $1.5 trillion US dollars. So the valuation will be over 100 times revenue. Obviously, Telesat wouldn't be anywhere close to that, but that shows quite a value discrepancy. And so I think when people start hearing and seeing the SpaceX IPO, they'll probably look around for other companies that are similar in the space. And then Telesat will probably catch their attention and they'll look at the valuation and see there's quite a discrepancy there. So there's potential for Telesat stock to do quite well just from the marketing from the SpaceX IPO.
Interesting. Yeah, I was going to ask you about the SpaceX IPO and how that would impact Telesat. But I mean, you say you've never seen a company with so much upside. What is it about Telesat that makes you feel that way?
Well, if you look at SpaceX as a bit of a guide, so the company started about 5 years ago from zero, and in 2025 it did about 15 billion US in revenue. So part of that is it's two components. It's Starlink, and then it's also the launch business. But SpaceX has achieved over 10 billion in revenue faster than Amazon, Google, and Facebook. So the market is literally the world, and there's big upside for space-based communications. Starlink has validated the low Earth orbit model. And that's actually taking business away from GEO, which is the geostationary satellites. And the TAM is massive. And as we all know, the geopolitics has changed. A lot of people don't want to use Musk if they have another option. A lot of people they don't want to rely on the US if there's another option. So once Telesat is up and operational, there will effectively be 3 players offering broadband from space. That'll be SpaceX, Amazon, and Telesat. And Telesat will be the only non-US service. So we think that there's probably going to be a lot of demand for Telesat's product once it's operational.
Is that what you're talking about? I know you mentioned the low Earth orbit satellites that Telesat is preparing to launch this year. Is that what you mean when you say there's only really 3 big companies that will have those satellites in space?
Exactly. Yes. Sorry, I meant to. What I was describing is low Earth orbit satellites. Yes, exactly. There'll be 3 LEO constellations offering broadband up in space once Telesat is operational.
Wow. On his trip to Australia this year, and we know Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke about Telesat's kind of light speed services with the Australian government. Do you think this company has a lot of opportunities outside of Canada as well, maybe in Australia, for example?
Absolutely. So most of Telesat's market will be outside of Canada, I would imagine. I mean, they're probably going to announce a big deal with the Canadian Armed Forces. They reported their results and they announced that they're going to allocate 25% of Lightspeed's capacity for military on military Ka band. So that's probably a large portion of that. It's probably for the Canadian Armed Forces, but they can offer that up to other defense departments around the world. So 75% of the capacity will be reserved for commercial use. And just to give you an idea of the opportunity, so Taiwan typically has its undersea cables cut by the Chinese. So if Taiwan had a satellite internet service, it would not be susceptible to that. And Taiwan has wanted to use SpaceX in the past, but SpaceX has not made itself available to Taiwan because Elon Musk generates a lot of revenue out of China. He doesn't want to upset the Chinese. So Telesat is definitely of interest to Taiwan. If Telesat signed a deal with Taiwan, that could be quite large for the company. Just as an idea, there are over 22 million people in Taiwan. SpaceX has about 8.5 million subscribers, and yet it generated about 15 billion US in revenue. So if they had a deal with Taiwan, that could be, quite material, and probably cause us to raise our numbers quite a bit.
Wow. We know Telesat does currently have a lot of debt. So can you explain the issue that they have with their debt and why you're not really too concerned about that?
Yeah, so Telesat is a bit of a complicated structure. It's a complicated structure from a corporate perspective. It's also a complicated financial structure. So Telesat's basically carved up into two silos: the restricted basket, the unrestricted basket. Within the restricted basket, there's a lot of debt that's against the geostationary satellites right now. So it doesn't, based on the indenture, it doesn't appear that the debt has any recourse other than those geostationary assets. And that's why the debt was trading down at 40, 50 cents on the dollar. It was scooped up by a lot of distressed debt sharks, I would say. And so now the debt's trading up into the 70 to 80 cent range. And so the company is in the middle of negotiations with the debt holders to come to some sort of resolution because that debt is maturing this year. We expect a resolution. We expect a deal. It may go to the final wire before we get one, but we do expect a deal. It's in everybody's interest to cut a deal here. And once we get a deal, then it's investable, because when I pitch it to portfolio managers, I'll say 70% of those portfolio managers, as soon as I talk about debt restructuring and distressed debt, they're just like, you know what, it's too complicated, forget it. So call me when this is all solved. So once we have a deal, then it's much more investable for a lot of portfolio managers. I would imagine the stock will make quite a material move up on that news.
No kidding. We talked a little bit at the beginning of the conversation about Telesat and, having that competition with SpaceX, having it with Amazon's Blue Origin. What does that, just between those three companies, rather, like, what does that competition really look like? Do you think Telesat really does stack up against its competition?
Yes. So Starlink and the Amazon LEO service will be B2C. Telesat's Lightspeed is going to be B2B. It's going after four markets: defense, government, aero, maritime, and telecom. It's already getting people to agree to a minimum revenue commitment, like a firm deal here, like Viasat, for example, signed a big deal with the company. So this is a big market, and there's room for all three players. I imagine SpaceX will continue to dominate the market. But like I say, this is the world, and the market's growing very quickly. And there's room for everybody, but Telesat's product will be is expected to be a superior product. We'll be able to offer over a gig download speed from space. So that's a pretty good product. Starlink can't do that today. What we imagine Starlink will upgrade, but Telesat will be able to offer a fiber-like service, minimal latency, with service level agreements. So service level agreements will guarantee a certain amount of download speed, uptime, and so on. And Starlink today does not offer service level agreements. So Telesat's product will be a premium product, enterprise grade product, and we think it will do well in the market.
So you say you've never seen a company with this much upside. Obviously, we began the conversation talking about this. Do you have an idea of just how much upside we could see within this company? Like, where's the finish line for Telesat?
Well, so Telesat's put out a forecast. We're materially below the forecast, but I'll just say if they hit their forecast, the stock will be many multiples of where it is today.
And are we getting, I know we talked about, Prime Minister Mark Carney going to Australia, talking up this company. Are we getting more interest? Is Telesat getting more interest from different countries around the world in terms of maybe using its services in the future?
Yes, so they have a very robust pipeline. So Telesat said on the earnings call this week that it expects to materially grow its backlog this year. So we were not expecting that. We expected that it would materially grow the backlog next year, because they're going to first put up some satellites in space in this fourth quarter, I think December. Then they would share the performance metrics off those satellites with potential customers, and that's when we expected the backlog to grow. But they indicated on their call this week that they expect to materially grow their backlog this year. So that clearly indicates that there's significant demand for the service. People are wanting to lock up capacity in the service before it goes live to ensure they have that capacity, and we're already seeing that.
Okay, that's such an interesting conversation. We'll leave it there, though. David McFadgen, Managing Director of Institutional Equity Research at ATB Cormark Capital Markets. I appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.